welcome back to Devils United, a Newcastle preview today. And when it was the last Newcastle preview, I met this lovely man who I'm with today. John, how are you?
Good evening, Maisy. Thank you so much for having us on. I've always wanted to do a preview, Newcastle United preview videos, and here we are. I mean, look, it's been fantastic, and I'm just honored to be here again. I'm absolutely fine. I've got a turkey in 2 days' time, and I'm buzzed in. And I got a new lass on the go, and she's from Newcastle.
Oh, I'm so chuffed for you, honestly. If people wonder what chuffed means, it means happy. In case people are wondering why you're speaking mank, it means chuffed means happy, and that's what I'm feeling for you, John. I'm really, really happy for you.
Thank you.
You deserve all the best.
Thank you.
Before we get going on to the preview, we will say hello to the chat. Hey there, Niall. Thank you for coming in. Hey there, Rather. Thank you as well for coming in. He's put your channel there in the chat.
Thank you.
So go and subscribe to John Sinclair TV if you haven't already. Hey there, Reese. Thank you for coming in. We'll get that question answered a bit more later on. Rather, so let me, if I get that, I've got that started, so I'll get it answered later on, Rather. Good evening, Andrew. Thank you for coming in. I hope that you are well. Cannot go wrong with chuffed. Yep. Two legends, love to see. Thank you, Andrew. So, yeah, a lot has changed, of course, since our first ever preview together. Because back when we done our first preview in January, I'm sure it was during the January transfer window. So, a lot has changed, hasn't it, in terms of Newcastle United since the last game we played.
Do you know what it is, right? I mean, it's been what a change or transformation years make. I mean, under Steve Bruce last year, right, we were in bottom of the table, second bottom of the table, right? And basically, it's just the football's just so dire sort of thing. I mean, people didn't know where it's coming and going. Players didn't know what it's doing. You know, Steve Bruce has totally killed his football club. I mean, I know there's a lot of people in the chat thinks that Bruce is legend for United, but let's be real, right? I mean, anyhow comes in, right? And he's totally changed the whole thing at Newcastle United on the, what's the one I'm looking for? He's changed the culture of the club, right? From top to bottom, right? You look at the players, Joe Linton. I mean, this guy, one of the worst strikes I've seen in a black and white shirt, 40 million quid, right? And Eddie Howe's turned his career around full circle, yeah? From striker to midfield. And look at him go. This guy is absolutely brilliant. It's even talk of him going to play for the World Cup with Brazil. But I can tell you now, right, you're not getting the World Cup. Copa America next year, maybes.
Yes, I think Joe Linton, he moved to the midfield, didn't he? And since his move to the midfield, it's really complemented him so well. I think he's been fantastic.
100%. I mean, look, he is worth the 40 million quid we paid for him now as well. And I wish I can get a guy who loves me the way John loves anyhow. I do. I think this guy is brilliant, you know what I mean? And but listen, at the end of the day, right? I mean, Joe Linton, right? I mean, look, Eddie has turned his career around, right? And this guy's in foresight in the midfield. He gets booked a lot. Fair play to him. But him and Bruno, right, in the midfield three, right, is absolutely brilliant together. They complement each other, right? And they play football. We come to Bruno, I'm sure, later on. I can talk to him all the time. Joe Linton, again, I mean, like I said, was he 6'3", something like that? I could be wrong, but he is absolutely brilliant. That game at St James's last season, I mean, he ordered midfield as well. Pick Man U fans who are looking and thinking, how come this player's transformed? He was a 40 million flop, and now he turns into a quality midfielder sort of thing. If I was a United fan, right, and he controlled that game, I'll be absolutely miffed. Let's be real, because that United midfield, let's be real, it's not good enough. Christian Eriksen might make a difference, but you take him away from the midfield.
He's actually not playing tonight. Eriksen, he's not starting in today's game. The midfield is Casemiro and Fred. So it's going to be interesting to see on how United does coach without Eriksen, but I think he needs a rest.
Yeah, absolutely. I think Christian will come in on Sunday for me, sort of thing. So it definitely come in him. If Casemiro does play, I tell you what, those two in the midfield would be fantastic. You know, I mean, Casemiro's the guy I really rate sort of from Real Madrid. I couldn't believe that Real Madrid decided to let him go for, what's it, 70 million quid? 70 million of you English pounds, man. They must have been laughing. They must have been laughing. Thinking, yo, I'll take 7 million quid. Thank you very much indeed. Was he coming on 31? And, you know, but they got the money for him. Real Madrid, to me, I think Madrid are the biggest winners because they've got the 7 million quid. They fleeced you lot. However, Casemiro, I think he's the best midfielder.
I feel more fleeced at Porto for that bloody Dalot, if you ask me.
I hope he plays on Sunday. I really do.
That actually brings me to it that Dalot is going to get bullied by St. Maximum. Let's be honest.
If ASM, right, shows us that he's capable, I think he's having a fine season. But if he counts on the way he is, right, now he's back to match fitness now, he's going to get Dalot a hard time. Let's put it this way. If it's at St. James's Park, he'll definitely run the Roost van in big time. Do you know what I mean? Because I think this guy has some proof. It's his 4th season now. And I've said to myself, this is the season now, Maisy. He's got to make it. If he doesn't make it, then I don't know who else can go over this guy. But he has fixed up on Eddie Howe, right? He took Kyle Walker to task, right?
He did. He played very well.
Ripped him to pieces. Scored a cracking goal against Wolves. Should have scored a winner, right? This guy is just so exciting to watch on Eddie Howe. He's transformed this season. And if he does that for the full season, right, injury-free, right, he gets us like 10 goals and 10 assists. I think St. Maximin, let's be real, I think he's going to be fantastic. I think he'll have a fine season. My advice to Alan is forget the World Cup, right, because you're not going to get there. There's better players in front of him. And Kunku's there. Griezmann's there, right? They're much better players than him, right? And the guy from Nice as well is going to get him before he does as well. So, ASM, get some top 6, get some top 4, and then you can move on about playing for fans. But until then, he's 25-year-old, right? It's going to his prime. The next World Cup is going to be in 2026. He'll be 29.
I don't think, especially whilst like you've got the likes of, for instance, Mbappe in that squad, I think it's going to be extremely difficult. The only way I think I could even see him getting in is even if like Benzema retired and Mbappe moves up front, and then that could be a possibility.
That could be a big possibility as well. You're right, and Mbappe's on with good books, by the way. But let's back him the better. I'm not going to lie, but look, end of the day, you're right. I mean, Mbappe is definitely be playing up front for the future, right? And then Benzema. I think this could be the World Cup, could be Benzema's swan song for the French national team and concentrate around Madrid. And I think that left wing is going to be available. But I don't think Didier Deschamps is going to pick him, ASM. He will not pick him because of his attitude. That is the thing. And Deschamps don't do that at all, Maisy.
Definitely, 100%. To Ravi's question, it will be Casemiro who will be starting against Newcastle. Scott McTominay is suspended for the Newcastle game, so advantage United in that respect, let's just say. But we'll talk as well about your recent signings, because you've signed some players in the summer who have made a massive impact. One who Andrew is very fond of, who's in the chat, Nick Pope. Nick Pope, for me, he's been absolutely superb from a Newcastle point of view, and you've only lost one game this season. And if you look at the transformation, what Nick Pope has done in terms of defensive issues, goalkeeper issues, I think he's helped you gain a lot of points so far.
He has. He's made some cracking saves this season. The game against Palace, for example, right? I think it was Palace, and made 2 decent saves and kept us in a game. And then he has made some great saves against Man City. He was outstanding against Man City. Absolutely brilliant, right? 10 million quid it cost us, right? I thought people saying that as a bargain, man, for a 30-year-old goalkeeper. And well deserved to be in an England squad as well, by the way. But okay, he's been a bit shaky for England. However, I do think, all right, that he could do more. I think Nick Pope can actually do a lot more. His distribution is fantastic. He sees things early, and he commands the spot so well. I think this guy could be with Newcastle for the next 4 years. And our keeping there. The Braka is gone to use. He's hard out of game yet, hasn't he? So
he hasn't had a game, but he's also been injured for us as well.
Yes.
I think if he never picked up I think he had an injury and he was out for about 4 games or something like that. And I do think if he never picked up an injury, he probably most likely would have started the Europa League game by now. But I think he was out for the first, I think, about 2 games of the Europa League, and he's been on the bench since. Personally, he hasn't started today. I probably would have started him in today's game, see how he gone on. But I've always said, like, Dubravka is a brilliant number 2 to have at Manchester United, and I'm actually looking forward to seeing him play because personally, for me, I think De Gea is too comfortable in that position.
100%. I mean, 100%. And also, he demanded showdown talks with Ten Hag as well because the back is coming in. But I think De Gea's lucky to be his number 1 keeper, sort of thing. He's too comfortable for me. I mean, he has his good games, has his poor games. I thought he was shocking against Man City, but then again, he wasn't the only one. But
no, for me, he was shocking against Brighton. The Brighton and the Brentford game, I personally think he was at fault for the majority of them goals. The Man City game, he was poor, but I think it could have been worse if he wasn't starting as well. If we had like the likes of Dean Henderson playing instead, I think it would have been a whole worse situation. So I think at times he has kept us in the game, like Southampton, Leicester when he made that brilliant save for Maddison's free kick. He has kept us in games, but he's also cost us in some games as well. And from what I've been reading, one of Manchester United's key areas to sign in the summer is a goalkeeper. So I'm presuming that I think De Gea's out of contract in the summer. So I'm presuming that he probably may either leave on a free or they may extend his contract by a further year. Not 100% sure on what they'll do with that, but in my personal opinion, I think we need to look for going for a younger type of goalkeeper. Like, I'm a fan of Diego Costa from Porto.
Yeah.
I like Sanchez from Brighton. And one what United fans don't really mention, who I would take in a heartbeat, David Raya from Brentford.
I'll look again at David Raya. I do rate he had a shocking game against us on Saturday.
He did, yeah.
2 confident rules. Like, what was he thinking? I do not know. We'll be bigging this guy up, yeah. But for me, I mean, I think Raya can be a better keeper. Like Roger Sanchez from Brighton, I think that's a good shout there. I think he's a decent keeper. And as long as he doesn't do high kicks in the penalty box as well. But look, he's a decent player, decent goalkeeper at him. And the keeper in the Italian game, right, is a young keeper, Alex Meret for Napoli. He's been outstanding this season, at top of the table. Another high-scoring win against Ajax in the Champions League. I tell you, I think Napoli can go all the way this season. I really do. They can go all the way. They look absolutely fantastic. I mean, what Spalletti has done for that club is simply unbelievable. Safe pair of hands, not really a big name, but it does command respect, and he getting that at this moment in time. And that because Kvaratskhelia, I tell you what, a left-side winger in the future, check this guy out. This guy is absolutely destined to the world.
You know me, I don't watch too much of the Italian league, John. I need to start watching a bit more.
You have to. It's a cracking league. Anything can happen in Serie A. You can get late goals in the game as well. It's such a romantic league. It's so exciting. And you know what? I think it's a cracking league to watch as well. I'm going to have to watch that soon because I'm going to miss it again this weekend, unfortunately. But on to today's game, on Sunday's game, I mean, I think you've got to get a goalkeeper. Meret to be a great keeper to get for Napoli, but he's unsellable at the minute. And you do need a keeper in the summer to keep De Gea on his toes. I don't think Dubravka is the answer for use. At the minute, because he's injury prone, I think he'd end up coming back to us, but we don't want him anymore, to be fair.
I mean, you signed the ex-Liverpool goalkeeper on a free as well. Because you have a couple of both your goalkeepers out, was it? Because Carl Darlow's out, isn't it?
He's out, yeah.
And Pope was out for a couple of games.
Yeah, absolutely right. But Darlow's out until December, January time. I don't think he's good enough. I think he needs to move to the Championship club, let's be real. But Gillespie, for me, Hardly player. I think he needs to go back up to Scotland. I think Scottish football is for him. Get some game time. But Nick Pope, that guy, this season's outstanding. He really is outstanding. He's got a great back four in front of him. And I hope that it carries on. And yeah, he definitely need to keep
100%. Just want to say hello there to Tarsen, who's in the chat. Thank you for coming in. Hope you are well. Hey there to Static. I hope you're well. Thank you for coming in. Before we do move on to the questions as well, what did get asked by Ravi? I did highlight them, Ravi, for later. Andrew said De Gea will not get 375k a week at any other club in the world. Agreed. I would offer him 200k, and if he refuses, thank him and goodbye. So there was an update. There was a rumor what was suggesting that Ten Hag has said to the board not to extend anyone's contracts without his permission. He wants to look into it further before extending anybody's contracts, and he doesn't want it done without his permission. What do you think of that comment made by Ten Hag? Because for me, I think he's absolutely spot on. Why would you want to extend someone's contract who isn't going to be in his plans? And that's been what's an issue with us in the past in terms of Phil Jones extending his contract. You don't. I think De Gea has probably been in a lot of people's plans, but Luke Shaw, could he have been? It may not necessarily been in Mourinho's plans. And trying to Anthony Martial, would he have stayed the length of time he has? If that was the case.
You're absolutely right. I mean, the manager's got to manage sort of thing, you know what I mean? You got to back the manager, right? I mean, he's coming in, right? And he is an elite manager. He's getting there. But at the end of the day, he's the manager. He's got to make the decisions, you know what I mean? And the board's got to back him. It's as simple as that, because we know the Glazers don't know that about football. All they know is about the coin sign, right? Glazers out, by the way. Let's be real. But listen, at the end of the day, I think he's right, because you don't want to give contracts to players that are not good enough, yeah? I'll look at, say, Luke Shaw. I'm not sure about him. Darryl, well documented, not good enough, right?
Scott thank you. Thank you. Someone agrees about Dalot. I've been literally shouting this from the rooftop about Dalot ever since I'd say since the second season at United. He wasn't playing. He was starting over Wan-Bissaka anyway. So I said, like, the guy needs to shift on. Reece will probably have a better idea anyway, but I don't think he was that good at AC Milan.
No, he wasn't a Washington closely. He wasn't that great. I mean, Milan knows to play with a C1, right? But at the end of the day, Ian, I just think he get ripped apart, and so it has with ease. He's been a problem as well, and he's cost them many games as well for Milan. But the bottom line is, right, I mean, for me, you need to get rid of him. You need a world-class right-back, and that is what you need, a world-class right-back.
Who would you say is a world-class right-back for you?
That's a very good question. For me, right, I will say like Reece James. At the minute,
that's mine.
Reece James is one of them, right? And I definitely take Reece James, right? Break the bank, but Chelsea's not going to sell him to you as a rival. There's never in a million years. No, there's no way. They look at right back as well. I mean, Ben Shite is definitely not the answer. Carvalho, the Devils. Reece is saying that. Carvalho is a quality right back, by the way. I can't lie. I mean,
I like Baku. I think he's got potential to be world class.
Who's that?
Baku.
Baku, yes. I like Baku. Great player. Great player. But I mean, there's a few and far between. Kyle Walker was a world class right back. Not anymore. Lamptey's a great name as well.
I think he's too injury prone.
That's the problem. That is the problem. Do you know what I mean? I'll be thinking twice about getting this guy. Do you know what I mean? And you look at right backs as well. I mean, Kieran Trippier, I'm sorry, that's not going to happen anytime soon because he's at Newcastle. I tell you what as well, Frimpong as well for Leverkusen as well. There's no one who's played for Celtic.
Dumfries.
Dumfries as well. Dumfries, could we get a bonus?
I think he's a bit of hit and miss for me, Dumfries. Like, I think he's a superb wing back, but in terms of right backs, if he played in a back four, I think he's a bit shaker. And Cancelo's another good one because Cancelo can play both.
Yeah, absolutely. He's a world-class one, Cancelo as well. I mean, look, At the end of the day, he's not going to be gettable. He's not going to sell him to use. There's no way Horsey ain't going to have any time soon. It's like James Anderson. Leicester don't want to sell him to us. They do not want to sell him to us. And I don't understand that because at the end of the day, Leicester's rivals to us. Really? Not anymore, they're not. Because we're miles in front of them. Simple as that. I mean, look, at the end of the day, right? I mean, there's a few and far between, if you know what I mean. But there's not many world-class right backs as well. Rafinha as well. Not did he play? There's no Rafinha Barca. I'm not sure, but don't say Trent is the right best back in the world. No, he's not. He is not. He is not.
He surely isn't. Or he surely isn't at all. Ooh.
No.
Just also want to say hello to Renee, hello to Liam, hey there to Foxer. Foxes have been here and a couple of United fans saying Dallo best right back in the Prem. They're idiots. The people who are saying it are genuine idiots, and they've got literal beer goggles on when they say that. Renee, rumours you're gonna get Donny to Leicester to replace Yuri for 15 mil. Take him. Honestly, you can take him. It's fine because he's not gonna fit us. So, we'll go to question times. I've started the questions. We'll start with Ravi's question, what he asked at the beginning, of which Bruno has been more on form in both teams. It's an easy one for me, and I'd have to say Bruno Gamaz. I think he's been absolutely outstanding. And personally for me, which I think a lot of people are going to disagree with me on, I think he's been the best midfielder in the league this season. He's been absolutely brilliant. And the way he's got the stats up there, like the world-class midfielders in the Premier League, it speaks levels. So I think him in your midfield is a difference between a win, lose, and a draw.
Do you know what it is to Bruno Gamache, right? That guy, when he first came to Newcastle, like, I've got to be careful what I say because a lot of people in the Premier League thinks no one had heard of this guy. Yeah, no one had heard of him. Arsenal's been trying to get this guy for a year. Pardon me, sorry. Real Madrid, Juve wanted him as well. Newcastle got in there, done our business quietly, and got the guy. This guy is absolute elite. What a cracking player this guy is, right? He sees a pass early before he gets to football, right? And it's the awareness of this guy, do you know what I mean? If he wants to push the ball forward, he will. And, and he's got some cracking goals. The one against Brentford typifies that, do you know what I mean? Let's be real. And he is absolutely a midfield dynamo. He really, really is. I love this guy. And I heard Real Madrid want him as well. He said that he spoke to Real Madrid, right? But it's just a conversation. And you know what I mean? But what I don't want is Real Madrid to come back in the summer and say, we want this guy. They're going to have to pay.
Can I ask you one question about Bruno? Just so I'm a bit clear, because people have been saying like different things. Like some people are saying he's better as a box-to-box. Some people are saying he's better as a defensive mid. I just want to ask you, which one is he better as a 6 or an 8?
For me, I think he can play both. I think you can play both.
What do you think he's better as, in your opinion?
For me personally, I like to see him attacking as well. I like to see him attack more. I like to see him as a 10 eventually. Do you know what I mean? Because he can play as a 10, yeah? He can move the ball forward. It's been documented, yeah? And he can get forward and get the end of things as well. So he can play anywhere in the midfield, like essentially he can play a 6, an 8, and a 10, yeah? I mean, for me, eventually, I think he could end up playing as a 10. If Eddie Howe changed to a 4-2-3-1, right? I think if Fox is in the chat, he might agree with us. I don't know what he does. Then you can have probably Joe Linton and Shelvin in a CDM, and then have Bruno as the 10 role. And I think that'd be perfect. I think it'd be amazing. Do you know what I mean? But wherever Bruno plays on that pitch, we got a great chance of winning the game because I think this guy is going to go all the way to the top. Will he be at Newcastle for the next 7 years? I don't know. Then you got Real Madrid sniffing down them as well. Manchester City won them as well in the summer. But I tell you something, I will not send to Manchester City. And am I going to sell him? Yeah, go to Madrid. But I would not sell him to Man City.
No, you wouldn't want to sell him to another Premier
He won't
League
go anywhere soon. He's not going anywhere soon. So I'm not worried about it. I'm comfortable with this guy. Do you know what I mean? I think, I make a prediction now, Bruno Guimaraes will be offered a new deal in the summer. And he'll be the highest paid player in Newcastle United's history.
So we'll go on to Ravi's next question: is who's your best midfield partnership? Consider we're talking about midfielders, of course.
For Newcastle, Eddie Howe plays a 3. So for me, it's going to have to be Joe Linton, Bruno, right? And another. It could be Joe Willock, yeah? Shelby's going to come back soon. So if it's a 4-2-3-1 for now, it would be those two. But Joe Willock, it's slowly get back to his best. So I would just pick Joe Willock in there, But we should be getting another midfielder if we can. And if you do that, James Maddison could be the answer.
Do you think John Joe Shelby could potentially get in your midfield 3? Because I know he's injured at the moment, isn't he?
He is at the minute. Like, he's coming back in about a couple of weeks' time, right? But I don't want to see John hitting those Hollywood passes all the time. Do you know what I mean? But he could be useful. I think, what is he, 31? I think this guy, right, under Eddie Howe, I have to judge him properly under Eddie Howe. Under Steve Bruce, right, he tried. But under Eddie Howe, I still want to see a season from him and see what he does. I'm not going to judge him until the end of the season and see how he does, because Eddie Howe loves this player. He loves Shelby. And that's why he's going to pick him over Willock when he is fit. And I want to see 5 great games from John Shelby in a row. Simple as that. Because at times, he could be insistent, and at times, he could go missing. But at the end of the day, I want to see him have 5 great games for us, because they're all playing well.
Yeah, definitely. 100%. And Andrew saying that Willock has so much potential as a central midfielder, and also Shelby's been great for the last 18 months and he doesn't like him. Hey there, Nippon. Thanks for coming in. I hope that you are well. We'll go on to the next question, because it's still about midfielders from Ravi, of which players in the 10 link up well with your strikers. So that's, of course, Isak's injured, isn't it, for the game, I believe.
Yes, well, apparently could be sub on Sunday, apparently. But
I heard that he's back in for the Tottenham game.
Yeah, I believe so as well, because we could do with him as well, because he needs the games. He needs to bet in the Premier League. But I've been very impressed with this guy, as long as he don't do a message chip when he's one-on-one. And look, at the end of the day, with Isak, right, I want this guy, right? I wanted him to come to Newcastle, right? And now he's here, right? He scored 2 goals since he's joined the club. One against Liverpool, one in the penalty kick against Bournemouth, where he could have got beat. But let's be real, I think Isak's good, destined to the top. He needs to beef up if he can, but I'm a fan. But I heard people saying that he should play on the right-hand side of the 3 and Wilson play on his own, yeah? But Miggy Almiron's playing really well this season. He scored 4 goals in 9. He's the top scorer for us at this moment in time. He's on fantastic, he's on fire, but he's got to do it every single week. And I want to see him run at Luke Shaw. I want to see him destroy Luke Shaw, yeah? And cut inside.
That's not going to be hard, John. I must be honest. It's not going to be hard to do that to Luke Shaw.
This is the thing, right? I mean, if we don't beat United, when are we ever going to beat them? That is the thing. Because I say it now, right? And I said this to you the other night. I'm not scared of this team. I'm not scared of this team. This is not the United team that's coached by Alex Ferguson. This is not the United team that has got Beckham, Keane, Scholes, Van Nistelrooy, Van Persie in that team, yeah? Let's be real, right? This team, right, is not a great United team. And I'm not going to lie, right? This team could be got at. Because Old Trafford, right, is not a place where I'd be feared anymore. Go there, give it a goal. If we play like we did at St. James's like the last season, carry it on, then we'll win this game. I truly believe this Sunday, I'll be in Turkey for that day, and for a holiday, watching that game. We'll win this game. I really do think that, and I think we will.
Foxy thinks about Isak has been poor in 2 of his 3 games. Not sure where we fit it in. We play so well without him, but when you overpay massively for him, you have to pay.
That is the thing. You have to play him, sort of thing as well. I mean, look, at the end of the day, we have to have faith in this guy, you know? And yeah, I know Foxy's not his biggest fan, but he paid 63 million quid. Let's be real. That the one thing I'm going to say, I honestly think that He's going to come good. I mean, there's potential from this kid. 6'4".
I think he's only had a couple of games. Like, you can't judge him so soon yet. You got to let him embed in the league, can't you? And
Yeah.
I think Eddie Howe is the right person to do that.
And the attitude as well. I mean, look, I'm not a Joe Linton fan. I wanted him gone. And then Eddie Howe comes and turns his career around, right? I think I'll back him, Isak. I'm going to back this guy. There's no way I'm going to tap on him. There's no way, right? You got to give him a year, right? See how he does. And then the following season, I want to see him shine. And that's what we do. But I back the team. But listen, let's be real. I think this guy's going to be destined. He is going to be destined.
And I agree with Static. Joe Linton has definitely turned things around for Newcastle. He's been outstanding.
He has indeed. He's been outstanding.
Next question is from Rather. Force on ASM, how much he's improved under Eddie Howe?
He has improved a lot this season. I really do. I mean, he has fixed up as well. He's more of a team player as well. Used pass the ball when he should be passing the ball. And again, I thought he's been outstanding. Against Man City, he was outstanding. Against Wolves, he was outstanding. Yeah. And he came on sub. Didn't do a lot, mind, but just a bit of run around, basically. I like him. And this guy is going to be better. He loves the social media, by the way. If he gets us wins, right, match winner as well, gets in the top 6 this season, then he can use as much social media as he wants. But we love him for social media. But at the same time, I want to see him do performances on the pitch as well.
And Andrew said ASM is a box of tricks. He is so good. When he is good, he is unreal. He's definitely one of them players where when he's on his best of form, he's very hard to stop, let's just say.
Absolutely. If he goes past Dalot, I would love that. I hope Dalot plays on Sunday, to be fair. And that's the only right back you've got, let's be real. But, I mean, look, I think just give the ball as much as Azam. Get the ball wide. Just get the ball out wide. Give it to Miggy. Give it to Alan, right?
If you remember the goal, what we scored, like you scored at St. James's Park against us, that 1-1 draw, he actually cut him through the middle.
He did. You talk about ASM?
I'm talking about ASM.
Yeah, he cut inside and then he killed it in, didn't he? Leaving the hair rooted, didn't he? Yeah, that was early on in the game. We should have won that game. Let's be real. But that was here again. How many times has this guy saved yous against us?
Last season, he was outstanding.
And he's done it again. He's done it again. You know what I mean? But I hope this time, we get all the luck in the world. And you know what? Possibly feeling nervous, but possibly saying we're going to win this. But we come down a bit, but you're right. But ASM is going to be key. When he's on it, he is on it. And Miggy, fantastic. Wilson is getting back into this game. I think the midfield's going to be key.
Definitely. We'll go on to the next question now, which is from Niall. Question for John. Can you see Isak being a hit and miss? It'd be a huge hit and the fans' favourite and score many goals as possible to push Newcastle higher than they finished last season. So far, you've already improved massively if you look at this time last season.
Absolutely right. I mean, look, at the end of the day, all right, he is quick for a big guy and he's got a good shooting as well with both feet. But look, at the end of the day, I mean, he's just come to he's better in the Premier League. And I'm sure he's going to take his time to get used to the pace and the power of the Premier League. He's not physically strong. He's quite slight. He's a skinny thing. But at the same time, I think he's going to come great. I mean, the Newcastle United, right, love strikers, sweet. We love heroes at the club. And if he gets 15 goals this season, right, I'm going to give Isak an 8 out of 10.
You know what, though? I don't necessarily say Isak is the difference. For me, it's keeping Callum Wilson injured. I mean, keeping Callum Wilson fit. Sorry. You need to prevent the injuries because, for me, I think Callum Wilson is one of the most underrated strikers in the Premier League. I've rated Callum Wilson for years. Ever since he was at Bournemouth, I really liked him. And I think if it wasn't for his injuries, he could be easily bagging 15 goals a season himself.
Absolutely. That's the problem. It's injuries as well. He can get 20 goals. We've got cracking players at Newcastle United. He get the service, right? But I believe if he stays injury-free between now and the end of the season, cool. That'd be brilliant. That'd be brilliant for him. And then Callum Wilson get 15, 20 goals and no problems. Oh, we got goals in this team, you know. It's just getting the service right. And we will get service, yeah. I truly believe with this team, right, it all depends what happens on Sunday. If we win this game, right, then you got to make us top 6 contenders. Do you know what I mean? And if we get top 4 after we beat Chelsea, right, before the break, I tell you something, I can't see any reason why we can go in the top 4. But the Premier League, Maisy,
it's so competitive.
They were absolutely, exactly. They were absolutely hated. They were not like Newcastle United being the Premier, getting the top 4 in the Champions League. Can you imagine that? And you know what? And like Tony said before, we're the juggernaut, and we're just going to keep coming and coming and coming. If we can get 2-3 quality players like Bruno, then who knows? We can do it.
Definitely. Statty says Shaw versus Trippier. That'll be an interesting battle. Trippier wins every single day, honestly, Statty. Honestly, that's from a Man United fan here. Wilson, very good. He really is. I do like Wilson. Thank you as well, Reese, for the £3 donation. It really means a lot. And that will get sent over to breast cancer now. So we'll go on to the next question, rather. Who scores the first goal on Sunday? That's going to be an interesting one because I don't know how this is going to work. I predicted 2-1 for Man United. I think you went 2-1 for Newcastle, if I remember clearly.
I said 2-1, 2-1, possibly 3-1. I said, did I say 2-1 or 3? I said 2-1.
I can't remember. 2-1. I know we've got our prediction show tomorrow anyway, but I think if we do win, I think you'll end up scoring first. And if I'm going to think of it correctly, I'm going to go ASM to score the first goal.
I'm going to say Wilson for the first goal. I mean, score goal for ASM gives him that service. I think it's going to be very, very crucial. Who gets the first goal, right? And I hope it's us, yeah. It's going to be very, very, very important, yeah. It's not going to be easy. I think you'd rather look at sometimes, you know what I mean? But it's going to be very interesting, but it's going to be very close. But for me, I think out of the two, I think we'll score first. I really do think that. United get an equalising goal, and then we're just going to keep going and get that winning goal. Probably later on first. And yeah, Callum Wilson, let's get the first goal.
Yeah. Next question, which is from Reese. Question for Mays: what has impressed you about Newcastle this season? And John, the same question about United. I'd say the thing what's impressed me most about Newcastle is the fight and determination. When you look at last season, there was quite in the dumps. I remember when I first met you, John, you wanted Steve Bruce out, Mike Ashley. It was just a whole lot going on at Newcastle United, and you wouldn't look back now and think 12 months ago that was the exact same. That was like that was the same team. Like that was only 12 months ago, because not just that, you've still got players from the Steve Bruce era, but Eddie Howe's transformed them into fantastic players. So that's what I like, is that Eddie Howe's made players, transformed them into brilliant players, and they're fighting determination to become a better club and to gain more points. But you, about Man United now, John, what's impressed you about Man United this season?
That's a very good question. I think Sancho's getting better. I can't lie. I thought of Martinez as well. It's getting into it now. You know what I mean? He's not the biggest, getting to us.
He's not paired with Maguire. That's it.
Exactly. He's not prime. He's like Pima Maguire. Definitely no way. Christian Eriksen is getting looking apart in the midfield. Casemiro, I can't answer that one yet, but look, I think your fullbacks aren't good enough. They're not good enough. I think they're definitely.
I like Malacia, but I think he's still very raw at the moment.
He is very, very raw for me. Very raw for me.
I think he can get there though to be a fantastic fullback. He gives me, I don't know about you, but he gives me like Patrice Evra vibes in a kind of way of how Patrice was at Man United when he first came, because he he was a little bit raw at the beginning because he didn't really like playing in the left back role. But Fergie said, I bought you to be a left back, so that's where you're playing. Ever since then, he's loved playing in that role. And I'm not saying like Malassi is playing out of position. That's not what I'm saying. But he gives me that kind of vibes where he's got similar traits to him. And he was a bit raw like him at the beginning. And I think over time he'll improve.
Yeah, absolutely. It's just time, Mace. It's just time. And, you just said there, you bought a left back, you played a left back, simple as that sort of thing. You don't want to mess about there, play the players at the best position, man. But listen, I have to agree with you, man. It's going to be interesting, man, to see what happens. And it's a tough one.
Rene said Rashford versus Isak. I think it's hard to compare them both because Rashford's been in the Premier League for so long and Isak hasn't hardly had games. And I think Rashford plays better out wide than Isak is better in the middle. So I think it's hard to compare them both right now, in my opinion. I think maybe over time could get there. Rene's got a question on who will Newcastle sign next, and please don't say Maddison.
That's a good question for me. I think
Didn't you have a Brazilian guy linked, by the way?
Yeah, Santos and Andres Santos plays for Vasco da Gama, Serie B. I don't watch the Brazilian league, but apparently, remember Juninho, right? Not the boy Juninho, but the Juninho who's played for Lyon. He thinks this guy's going to be the real deal, and it's going to be interesting to see. But Barca and PSG wants him as well. And Newcastle's been very aggressive trying to get this guy. I don't know a lot about him because I don't watch Brazil actually know. If we do sign him, I think it'll probably be in the first team because he's doing really well. I really do. But Foxy knows more than I do. And Fox in the chat as well, he rates this kid very highly. That's one of them. Tielemans, again, being mentioned as well. Diaby as well has been linked to us as well. It's going to be tough. For me, it's a tough one, Maisy. It really is a tough one. But we definitely need another midfielder. We definitely need a right side of midfield as well. Definitely 100%. And strikers, we covered the strikers. We do need covering left side midfield for ASM as well. So if he gets injured, we can get someone slotting like that. Jacob Murphy, he's got to keep going. He had a good game Saturday, but he's got to do it again first. He's got to show us again. But I think Fox said in the comment as well, he reckons it's going to be the same. It's going to be the same side. He thinks it's going to be the same team that beat Brentford and Fulham as well. So he's going to keep faith for that. So it'll be very interesting.
It sure will be interesting. So next question was from Rather. What sort of bench will Ten Hag have for the Newcastle game? I think the only players who are injured is Donner, Anthony Martial, Aaron Wan-Bissaka. So I expect apart from them three, everybody else will most likely be on the bench. Rene, I do have Fantasy Premier League. I do have my code in the description below. So if you do join and you have first place the week before the Manchester United women game on the it's the 3rd of December now, not the 4th, because Sky has bought the game. You will get a free ticket to the Manchester United women game. So, and that is against Aston Villa. Do you use fantasy football, John?
I do. I mean, I've got all in the team. Andy Robson in the team. I think I've got Nick Pope in goal, and Zombie Phone as well. I've got Kamara, dropped him as well. Grealish, should not mention his name. He's in the squad as well.
Yeah, I've actually got 3 Newcastle players of my fantasy football.
I got Bruno, so I got Bruno Guimaraes as well. Got
him. Let's see. I've got so basically I've dropped Pope for the next game because I think he will concede. I need to take Reece James out actually. That's just reminded me. So what I've gone for: Dean Henderson in goal, Thiago Silva, Kilman, Veltman in the defence, Bruno Guimaraes, Foden, Odegaard, Antony in the midfield, Kane, Jesus, Sakama up front.
Yeah, I think I got Jesus bench. So I got Holland, I got Keane, I forgot Jesus as well, but I swapped someone for Jesus as well, so I got him sort of as on me fun, and yeah, just I think I have sort of thing on me fantasy football league. Got it here, sort of thing. I know what I mean. Fantasy. I've got let's have a look. I got a rubbish score this weekend. Rubbish. Got Pope in goal, Dunk, Van Dijk, Botman, and I have to mention his name, your mate Koulibaly.
Where have you got him, John?
Listen, he's been solid for the last few games. Let's be real. He's been solid for the last few games. But then Bruno, Rodri, Grealish, Haaland, Jesus, and Kane, and the subs I've got is Alisson, Robertson. He has to play Bissouma and Kamara.
Mm-hmm.
And but going back to as well, I mean, Koulibaly. I tell you what, I know. I shouldn't mention his name on your show.
Yeah, Koulibaly is a swear word.
Yeah, here's a tip, right? Rafa Benitez bought him Koulibaly when he was at Napoli, right? How much did he cost? 5 million.
That's too dear.
I knew you'd say that. Too dear.
Mm-hmm.
Pound for pound, Adam.
We'll do 3 more questions, and then we'll do a combined 11.
Okay.
And then wrap it up. Foxy asked, will ASM definitely start? Wouldn't be surprised to see how go with the same lineup again with ASM causing havoc the last 30.
We need to start him. I think he'll be starting in that game. I really do. Because if you're going to win the game, we've got to go out and win the game. ASM, right? Got to give Dallo, give him a reminder what he's going to do, what he's all about. And let's be honest with you. Let's hope that's the case. And I hope they rip him a good one.
Mm-hmm. Thank you as well, Andrew, for the super chat. It really means a lot. Let's spin Luke Shaw, please. You know what? If you give me that £3 donation, what's going to breast cancer now, I'll certainly bin Luke Shaw. I would have done it for free for you, Andrew. But I really appreciate the super chat. Thank you. Second to last question from Static. Where can you see Newcastle finish end of the season?
Depends what we sign in January. If we can with where we are, I'm going to say 6. I can't see any reason why Newcastle United finish 6th this season. I reckon we can. I think they want to do it for Bruno. We've got in Europe this season, I hope. And let's hope we get 6th this season. 7th, I'll be overdoing for the Europa Conference. I'll take that all day long. But we've got to be in a position, right? We've got to go for 6. And if you do well, aim for number 4. Let's aim for number 4. We got the players, right? ASM's a fantastic player. He is this season. Bruno, he is the creme of the creme, right? Joe Linton, beefing up in midfield. We can score goals. I think let's go 9 goals in 2 games. Carry on as you are. We've got some games coming up. We've got Everton at home on Wednesday. Spurs away. That'll be tough. Villa at home. Southampton away. Chelsea at home. These are winnable games. We can do this. But I'll go for 6.
To Rafi's point, you've got money to buy Koulibaly. I wouldn't waste 1p on Koulibaly.
Say again. You wouldn't waste 1p on
I wouldn't waste 1p on Koulibaly.
Yeah, Koulibaly.
I'd rather save my 1p for something else. Thank you, Reese.
So obviously there's no Koulibaly fans in the chat then.
Yeah, no Koulibaly fans. Good. Last question, and that's from Renee. Who will Man United sign next? Good question. Ten Hag is wanting to sign players in January, so apparently Ivan Toney from Brentford is linked to Man United. So if that's the case, I would absolutely love to have Ivan Toney. Let's do it. Liam said it's all United so far in terms of the game. Let's do it. We'll do our combined 11. Let's put this. So I've gone for the best formation in the world, a 4-3-3. Not a crappy 4-2-3-1. Not a crappy 3-4-2-1. Not a 4-4-2. It's a 4-3-3 we're going for. So we'll go with the goalkeeper. I personally think it's going to be an easy one because I'm going for Nick Pope.
Yeah, are we going to go by form or are we going to go by the best player?
By form
By
from this
form.
season.
Okay, so far so good. Yeah, I got to go with Nick Pope as well. I mean, look, he's been outstanding this season. Not being biased, but I can only say of what I've seen. So definitely Nick Pope for me. His command in the box is excellent. Distribution is fantastic. Fantastic shot stop at as well. No question about that. And he is having a fantastic season. If I did a half-term report of the season, I'll give him an 8.
Yeah, I think he's definitely been one of your standout players this season. So I could definitely see why you would want to give him that.
Yeah, I have to go with that as well. But if he counts on the way he is, it'd be brilliant.
And what I'll do as well, we'll go to centre backs. You pick your best centre back. I'll pick my best centre back in terms of form.
Ooh.
So then we'll have one each. Hey there, Luca, as well. Hope you're well.
Big up, Luca. Big Arsenal.
I'm going to go with my centre back, which I'm going to go for Lisandro Martinez. Because for me, I think he's been absolutely outstanding. He's been a leader in the back line. And he's actually our first left-footed centre back in a very long time. And you can tell the difference. His aggression, the way he complements Varane so well. I'm very, very happy with Martinez. And for me, he's probably been one of our players of the season so far. So I'm going to go for Martinez. Who's your centre-back who you're going to go for?
I'll pick it on form. I'm going to go with 2. I'm going to go with Sven Botman.
Yep.
100%. And I debate between Cher and Martinez, yeah?
So who would you have out? So we'll have Martinez then if you're going to keep him. So you're going to go for Botman?
I'm going to go for Botman because this guy's a raw source of defender. I mean, he's calm with the ball. I think he used the ball well. But one thing I'd like to see from Botman, I want to see him be tested against pacey forwards. We're going to find out on Sunday, yeah, when Rashford runs at him. I want to see how good doing that as well and pick up Anthony as well. So for me, I would definitely go with Botman there. I mean, Varane, I could have picked Varane, but he's too injury prone, so I can't qualify him as form. I pick on players on form. So then when Botman plays, he's been outstanding. He's got a calm influence in the team, and that's what I like about him.
Right back now for me, I think it's going to be easy, and I'm going to go for Trippier.
100% for me. I mean, again, he's been outstanding this season. He's got a cracking goal against Man City. He's a leader of all leaders at the back. He's a talker. That's what I love about him. He tells the players where they be. And when you're on the back foot, he wants you to work hard as well. So for me, it's only one answer to that one.
Left back now. And I think this one's the one where it's going to get tricky. Because we've already agreed with Andrew Luke-Shaw. Now I'm going to put the guy in. But I don't think Dan Burn's been that well for me in terms of left backs for Newcastle. I think Target is a better left back. But for me, I'd probably have to go with Malacia because I think he's been, even though he looked a bit shaky in the Europa League game, going off Premier League games, he done very well against Saka, very well against Mo Salah. I think he's been, for me, probably, he's been absolutely brilliant, but I think at times he can get dispossessed, but I think it's just the fact that it is still embedded into the league.
Yeah, absolutely. I haven't watched a lot about this kid, but it is going to be a fantastic right and left back for me. I think he gets stuck in. I think he's determined. I think he's just going to get better and better. He only costs 13.5 million quid. I think this guy is going to be... That's a bargain. That is an absolute bargain. Give it a couple of years. I think this guy is going to be the real deal for me at the left back. So Malacia, I say Malacia out on target. Tug's not getting games. I mean, Tug's done Harry, but I think I could go just Malacia based on that because I think he's more solid. He's a great tackler. I do like Matt Tug. He's a brilliant defender. For me, I've got to go just Malacia.
Now it goes to defensive midfielder. I know it says 3 CMs, but we'll do defensive mid. Defensive mid, I'd have to go for Bruno Gomez.
100%. You can't have a midfield without Bruno outstanding this season, right? I mean, he saw his best performance. He'll get goals for yes as well. And he can play anywhere in the midfield. He can play in CDM, an 8 and a 10. For me, he can see a pass. He can see a pass before he gets the ball. And his passability is brilliant. His space is brilliant. And his awareness as well. And for me, this guy is going to Brazil. He's going to go to Qatar with Brazil, 100%. And I'm going to go with Bruno.
Yeah, I know Casemiro's been mentioned, but he hasn't played enough for me. I know he's a world-class defensive midfielder, but he hasn't played enough for me to be in a combined 11 this season. So that's why I've gone for Bruno. In terms of central midfielders, because there's two, I'll pick one, you pick one.
Yeah.
My central midfielder is Casemiro. Eriksen. Sorry, I've got Casemiro on the brain. It's Eriksen for me as one of them.
Yeah, I think Christian Eriksen's having a good season. I mean, pick up the poor bunch, to be fair. I'm not going to lie, but Eriksen's been outstanding. He really has. But I'll be worried for him, if I'm honest, because I think he could cause damage in the midfield. However, right, we got quality in the midfield as well. We got Joe Linton, we got Bruno, we got Willock as well.
Who would you have on yours then? Your central midfielder?
Joe Linton. On form, I'll go with Joe Linton.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Joe Linton as well. He's been, I think, since he's moved over to that midfielder role, he's been superb.
He's been quality. He's been absolutely quality. He could tackle. He could break from deep as well. He could run at the ball as well. I mean, the confidence as well from this guy. He wouldn't put a tackle for Steve Bruce. He was just scared. And now he just goes in and then he takes people out as well, which I think is great. Tackles cleanly as well. And this guy, I'll tell you what it is, right? I mean, if he played for a Liverpool team or a United team, I think he'd be brilliant. He wouldn't look out of place for Arsenal neither. I think he'd do alright for Man City as well. But for me, I think he's decent. I think he's quality. And he's another one as well. He's got what? He's got 2.5. He's got a year left on his contract after this season. I think they need to speak to him as well. They need to sit down and chat to this guy because I think he loves the club. He loves the club. The club loves him. He's Brazilian. And he only costs $1 million. We think he's effing brilliant. He is Joe Linton. So, yes.
Hey there, Paul. Thanks for coming in. I hope you are well.
You got Paul.
We'll go on to the left wing now. And I think that's going to go to Saint-Maximin for me. I think he's been terrific again so far this season.
I'm gonna agree with you. I think he's been brilliant. Absolutely fantastic. And for me personally, I mean, Eddie Howe wants him to fix up, and that's exactly what he's doing. He's fixing up every single time, and he's just such a joy to watch. When he gets on the skin, that game against Man City, right?
Yeah,
he was magnificent,
and he was brilliant against Wolves. I think he was the difference between you losing and getting that draw.
Exactly, totally agree. That goal. I mean, I was waiting for people to do volleys and that up in the air sort of thing. That could have gone over the bar. That could have gone so wide, but the technique he put that ball down, class, absolute class. And that got us a point. You're right. He should have won it in the end, but the bottom line is he's been fantastic this season. And this is what I want to see for ASM. That's what we want to see every week. You got it, Alan. You got it. Show us more. That's what we like, D.
Agreed. Right wing now, I'm going to go for Anthony. I think for me, Anthony, he has made a massive impact coming to that Man United side. I know Sancho was brought to play on the right hand side, but he's moved to the left wing. Anthony is one of them where he can shoot from a distance. He's been very crucial in terms of games like the man's getting the first goal for City, the Arsenal game. And here's a fact as well about Anthony: he's the first ever player in the Premier League to score in his first 3 starts in the Premier League. That's some going.
Absolutely. A lot of Newcastle fans will say gone with Miggy as well because he has been scoring goals 4 in 9 games, and we are seeing the real Miguel Almiron as well. So for me, I would have personally said Miggy, but Anthony's been brilliant. That's the one you're going to have to leave alone because they're both
We'll
been on
put that
fire.
as a poll in the chat.
He's been on goal.
See what people are saying, and then once we do our striker, we'll be able to have a better idea. So, Miggy or Anthony. So we'll go on to the striker now. John, who did you have for striker?
Oh, okay. I mean, Callum hasn't really been on that fire at the minute. I can't. He's been average. He's been good. Injuries again, right? Oh, so no one got to leave alone. I mean, for me,
This is the thing, because I love Callum Wilson, but he's been injured. That's what my problem. This is the only problem. Isak hasn't played enough games, but I think Rashford edges it there for me right now, based off things.
That one is going to be tough there. I mean, Isak, you can't really judge him like, 2 and 3 games. He's been impressive. Callum Wilson, when he plays really well. That is going to be tough. Rashford can play up front as well. That is a difficult one. You're going to have one to the poll because that is real tough.
Should we see what the poll said anyway for the right wing?
I'll be happy with that.
Yeah, it's 50-50 at the moment. If one more person could put a vote in, then we could do our striker.
Where's that? Where did you get that from, Maisy? That website.
Create Formation, it's called.
Great Formation.
Create
Formation.
Yeah, and then you'll be able to see it's like the first one that comes up.
Beautiful.
Okay, perfect. Now I'm going to end the poll 7. And the poll says Anthony with 57 and Miggy with 42%. So Anthony goes in that right wing.
Yeah, that is absolutely fine. That would be brilliant.
And then striker, so it's out of Wilson and Rashford.
Personally, I'll go for just Wilson because
I'd have to go with Rashford just because of obviously being injured.
Right.
Otherwise, I would have put Wilson in. It's just the fact that Wilson's been out for a few games. That's my only problem.
Okay.
I put it to the chat. See what people said. I will see what people are saying so far. So we'll leave that for a few moments. But in terms of that squad so far, what do you think of it?
I like it. I do like it. Then you got 2 solid defenders. Reach's not going to take any prisoners. You got Martinez going to do all the dirty work. You got Botman's just going to be calm and influence on the ball. Trippier leading from the back. Malacia, that guy, is going to go up and down. The midfield 3, that looks fantastic. Bruno, create. Jordan with again the dirty work. Ericsson, creative as well. Then the front 3, you got pace out wide. ASM, Anthony, trickery skill, and up front. Who's going to get the end of it? That is the thing. Who's going to get the end of the ball as well? Will be Wilson or Rashford. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 Newcastle players there.
And you'll have a 7th now because it's a clear win with Wilson. It was how many people said 83% have said Wilson. So there's no point keeping that poll any longer. So Wilson gets in.
Get in.
There. So that's the lineup.
I'm happy with that. I think that's a winning team there. That's a brilliant combined 11 there. I mean, I'll probably have to down be sure tomorrow as well on mine sort of thing. You come on mine tomorrow, or?
Yeah, coming on yours tomorrow. Cool. We'll talk backstage of what time you want me on and stuff. But
cool stuff.
We'll wrap it up. Thank you so much, John, for coming on. It's been great.
No problem, and thank you very much for having us on as well. I didn't know what it is, right? It's just absolutely amazing, and your shows just gets better and better. We know that, and it's just brilliant. It's just great to have you to chat to us and have us on before my holiday.
Oh yeah, definitely. Would you like to shout out your socials, John?
Yep, sure. Thank you so much for having us on as usual, and it's been amazing. And if you find us on Twitch, John Sinclair TV, also on Facebook, also on YouTube as well, do give us a subscribe. Yeah, click on subscribe. It's free, and I do great guests, Tornsby co-host as well. Maisy comes on my channel on Tuesday. Match previews on Thursday or Friday, wherever it comes. Fan forum, Tony's hosting my fan forum throughout the night. And I do player ratings, match reviews, and also we're going to try and get back to the watch-alongs very soon. And if you go on Insta, John Sinclair 50 as well, and John_NUFC42 on social media.
Definitely. Everyone, if you hasn't already, go and subscribe to John Sinclair TV. John will be back tomorrow for the Premier League prediction show. It is going to be match day 11 and 12, just because there's a midweek fixture.
Yeah.
And if anyone is interested at all in doing match day 13 with me, give me a message, because John is going to be away, and it'd be good to see other people's opinions too in terms of scores whilst John's away. So you'll be co-hosting the show while in John's absence. So if anyone's interested in doing match day 13 with me, just give me a message on the link in the description with socials. So it's John's back on again tomorrow. Then I've got my Manchester United women preview on Monday with Andy and Chloe. My World Cup predictions with Luca for Group C. Prasanna is coming on for the Chelsea preview. And I'll be doing a watch along next weekend for the Manchester United women. So go and check that out. And thank you very, very much, John.
You're welcome anytime. And I love your channel. You're amazing. And do smash the likes for Maisy. Hit the subscribe button for Maisy as well, please. If you can, that'd be amazing. She wants all the more and more subscribers as well. She's destined for the very top of her profession. And you know what? She's the best.
Thank you, John. And same with John. Smash that subscribe button to him. Take care, everyone. Night-night. And we'll see you at 9 o'clock tomorrow. Bye-bye.